No joke. Oh, that's sad. Oh, that's funny. Carrie, I'm glad you're on here. I do want you to share, by the way. Uh, and you know what? Give me just a second, and then I'm going to go right to you because I want you to share your thoughts from last week. But I wanted to tell you something that was really interesting. So I just had a meeting, and it was with Joe, right? Joe and I we met a couple, and then we were talking after, and she was telling me about right. So my son's name is Ryder. Ryder's 15 years old, and Ryder's always kind of naturally just had a God-given gift of leadership, and so he's kind of influenced and led with his friend group. That's just kind of how he's been, right? And so what's happened in the last week though is there's a kid. So Ryder loves tennis, right? Well, there's a kid that just moved in from out of state, and this kid is like the number three tennis player in the country for 15-year-olds. And so he is, to say that he is like freakishly good is an understatement. Well, not only that, this kid's cool. Like my son loves Ryder loves to hunt and fish. So does this guy, right? Ryder loves to work out. So does Gus, right? Like Ryder loves just to play tennis every day. So does he. All this to say, like Ryder has really taken to this kid. They've hung out 3 days this week, believe it or not. And he's like, Dad, I could see myself being like best friends with this kid for the rest of my life. He's just so cool. Well, what does this kid have? Well, he's got this certain water bottle he takes to the tennis courts every day. What does Ryder want? Same water bottle. Well, this kid kind of grew his hair out a little bit underneath his hat. Ryder kind of has hair that's shorter right now. He told Joe yesterday, Mom, I kind of might want to like, can I let my hair grow for the summer or whatever? My point is, like, for one of the first times in our life, we're seeing Ryder be influenced by somebody else. Okay. And it made us stop and think. And we're like, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. You are influencing somebody with or without you even knowing. You don't have to be this crazy successful person in business to influence people. You don't have to be like, none of that matters. What matters is God has created you and given you influence over people in your life, your kids, friends, acquaintances, people you don't even know about. But it also brings to surface the fact that you got to be careful with that. You need to be careful with the influence you have, because even those of us that sometimes don't feel like we have influence and no one's watching us, no one's looking at us, right? And we can't get anybody to pay attention, you still do. People are still noticing, right? And what you do matters. Your consistency and your integrity, doing what you say you're going to do every day when no one else is watching, matters, because there's always someone else watching. Always. Even if it's just the Lord, like always is there's somebody watching. So just encourage you with that this morning. You do have influence, and I want to make sure that we all know that. Carrie, go ahead and unmute. I want you to share, and then we'll get back into it after that.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks, Kyle. So this kind of goes along with what you were just saying. But so last week I was renovating my kitchen and I've just been painting, right? And so, I was so excited to start and I'm like, all right, like let's go day one. I'm motivated, I'm excited. And I crush it. Day one, day two, painting back at it. Day three, painting back at it. And day four comes and I woke up and I was just like, I do not feel like doing this. I do not feel motivated. I was just like thinking of all the excuses in my head, right? That I could think of why I shouldn't paint that day, even though it was on my calendar to do it and I wanted to get through it and whatever. And so I just was thinking about our businesses and how I think about how, sometimes you join, you get excited, you're pumped up, you're doing all the things, and then you kind of just are like, I don't feel like doing this today, for whatever reason, right? And we make excuses. And the problem is when we do that and we get off track and we don't push through the hard times, we are not going to get to the end result, right? And this is just what kind of was coming to me as I was painting. I'm like, if I don't push through this, I'm not going to get to the end result. And I was actually really excited for day four originally because that was the day that I was going to have the rest of my kitchen and family room and cabinets painted. And so I know that if I want to get to that end result, like I have to push through on the days that I don't feel like showing up, right? And I just think there's so many times, you guys, that we can make excuses, or there's obstacles in our business, right? And I was thinking again, relating it to painting, this analogy, I was like, there's days that I've been in the middle of painting and then, oh my gosh, I dropped paint on the floor or I ran out of paint. And it's like, what are we going to do when those obstacles come? Are we just going to quit in the middle of it? Or are we going to get back at it, go get more paint, clean up the mess, and keep going, right? And I just think it's important. And then I was also thinking about the paint. So I was visualizing the paint as like the patch, right? And then all of our trainings and our, onboarding calls and testimonial calls and all the things, right? And that is all huge, so important. But if we don't pick up our paintbrush and utilize all of those tools, what does it get us? Nothing. We just have paint, right? So we got to use our paintbrush, which is us getting out there, doing the daily income, producing activities, getting to the retreats, getting to the conventions, showing up on these calls. Like we have to utilize everything that we're learning and the incredible business and, product that we have. If we want to see that growth in our business and we want to get to that end result. And so just remember too, guys, I want to say this because, I have been running from the day that I joined, right? And sometimes things might go a little bit slower than you hope. And you might have people who quit and all the things. But I just want to encourage you. I don't even know where I heard it the other day, but I heard recently someone say, like, I think it was in a book that I was reading. It might have been GoPro by Eric Worre. I'm not sure. But someone said, think about your business as like a 5-year game plan, right? And trust me, I don't want it to take me 5 years to get to where I want to be. And I'm not saying you should set your goal as, okay, I'm going to let it take me that long. Obviously, try to get to your goals as soon as you can, but just don't compare yourself to other people. Okay. We know that comparison is the thief of joy, and everybody's journey looks different, right? Because everybody has just a different experience of who happens to join their team. I mean, there's people that I've really wanted on my team that are my blue M&Ms, as Sarah knows, I call them, people that I just know, oh my gosh, if they join me, like my business is going to explode overnight type of people, right? And I haven't signed up those people yet. I still have an incredible team who I love, and I've built a strong foundation of people I love doing this business with. But just don't compare yourself and just tell yourself it's going to maybe take time for some of us to get there, right? And it's okay if it takes 5 years. It just, I think it was the first time like I heard someone talk like that, because obviously the hustle is important and showing up every day is important. But hearing people say like, don't put so much pressure on yourself or have these expectations that you're going to be exactly where you hope to be in your business right away. It might take you 5 years. And in my mind, I thought, yes, that's true. And if it took me 5 years from when I joined, which I'm almost next month will be my 2 year mark. So if it took me 5 years to get to what my end result is, like I will be thrilled. Like that would be amazing. You know what I mean? So it's really about our perspective. But I mostly just wanted to share that paint analogy because it just came to me as I was painting that day. And I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. And then it's like, no, you need to stay focused on what you want to do and your end result. And that's when the breakthrough and that's when that awesome end result is going to come by staying focused and staying diligent and dedicated. So that's what was on my heart last week. But I know we didn't have the call. So there you go.
Terry, that's so good. That's so good. Okay, I love so many things about that. Real quick, my takeaways, because that was so good. We all have the paint. We all have the brush. Very few of us pick it up and paint every day. That is such a good analogy. We all have LifeWave. We all have our business. We all have our patches. Very few of us talk about it to somebody new every single day. Can we be honest? There ain't no paint going on the wall unless you pick up that brush and dip it in the paint and start doing this, right? There's no growth in your business unless you're doing, you know, you're reaching out, you're doing oh gosh, I just totally forgot. 10-2-1, right? You're having or 2-10-1, you're having two conversations a day, 5 days a week, 10 total, and one person's joining. Like that's how you do it. Number one, that's so good. And then yes, how you okay, so a guy by the name of Inky Johnson, who was he's a motivational speaker now, but he was a really good football player for the University of Tennessee. He was going to go pro, and he's from the projects. So listen, this guy lived in a 1 bedroom room, I think in Atlanta, with his cousins, and his grandma raised them. They all slept on the floor or had some mattresses on the floor. Like a devastating childhood, but he's a phenomenal football player. Gets recruited by the University of Tennessee. His junior year, He's set to go pro, be drafted in the top of the first, like he's first round draft pick. And I think it's against Georgia maybe. And he goes in for a routine hit, and all of a sudden he goes down and he goes out. And when he wakes up, he can't move anything. And he hears the doctor say to his mom standing there, if we don't amputate his arm right now, he's going to die. And he's like, what just happened? Amputates his arm right there. Now he has a prosthetic arm. Ruins his dream of the NFL. He thought he was going to be able to take care of his family, his grandma, like everybody. That was his way, and his dream was ended. And he has this quote. When you know his background, you understand how powerful this quote is. But one of my favorite quotes from him is how you view what you do determines how you do what you do. He had to change the view on what he was about to do for the rest of his life so that he could actually do it the way that he needed to do it and the way God called him to do it. God put him on a totally different journey. Now you know what he does? He goes around all over the country and he gives some of the best speeches ever and inspires people and picks people up out of dark times and like motivates people. Every college football team has him come speak, just for that. He's an incredible powerhouse of a man that is doing wonderful things for this world and for people that he never would have done without complete devastation in his life. Complete. So listen, how you view your business, as Carrie was just talking about so eloquently, I can't say that word, you know what I mean? What she was just talking about is so true. If you view LifeWave as a 6-month plan, and if you're not where you want to be, you're done, that's going to determine how you do it. And I promise you, you won't be here in 6 months, probably not in 4 months. But when you have a long-term mindset, again, it's not like a long-term mindset, therefore no one's really working with a sense of urgency. No, 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 no. You still work with a sense of urgency, but you have a long-term mindset. Like you understand that these things take time to build. It's the power of compounding, just like anything else. Carrie, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Really, really, really good. Um, I got one more thing that I wanted to share as well, or a few more things. And it's again from my buddy James Clear. But he said this, and I think of you guys when we're on these calls, and we do leadership calls every week, and we had our call a few weeks ago with a bunch of the leaders, and we're just game planning. And I was gonna say this on that call to them and just appreciate them, but we went so long that everybody had to get off. But it's this quote. Listen to this quote. It says the best view of the game is probably from the stands, but that's not where the action is. And so you have to decide, do you want to have a nice view or do you want to be in the thick of it playing the game? Guys, we can all sit in the stands and have a real nice view. We can tap out at any time, right? But that's not where the action is. The action's in the thick of it. And you know what else? If you're not in the thick of it, what can you not do? You cannot win. No one in the stands has ever won a game. You know what cracks me up is when people go to, yeah, the man in the arena. That's exactly right. What cracks me up is when people like they'll graduate from a college and then 20 years later they're still talking about we. Like they're talking about their football team. Like, well, we just didn't have a good year. We needed this and we needed this. And I'm like, what do you mean we? I didn't see you suit up and play. Like, with all due respect, I understand that you identify as a fan of, Texas A&M. That's the school I always think about with that because they're so like this and tight and connected. But there's no we. You're in the stands. The we's are down there playing. You can't win anything. I don't care if that's a national championship. You don't win it. Those players and coaches that are in the thick of it every day win it. It's the same thing in life, guys. You can't win something that you're not a part of, that you're not playing, that you're not getting dirty, getting beat up, getting your teeth kicked in every single day, but still moving forward, getting in the huddle, regrouping, getting back to the line of scrimmage, running your next play, right? So get in the thick of it. It's not about a great view. It's about winning. Winning for you, winning for your family, and whatever that looks like. $200 a week, $1,000 a week, $10,000 a week, whatever that looks like. That's what this is about, right? So get in the thick of it. Next, luck flows through people and travels by conversation. The people you talk to determine the opportunities that you find. Keep talking to the same people, keep finding the same opportunities. Start talking to new people, find new opportunities. If you want different luck, start walking into different rooms. Guys, I had a lot of conversations over the last 2 weeks with some people, different people that were fixated on their one, as you said, Carrie, blue M&M that they just can't quite get to join. And I'm like, how much time are you spending on this one person? They're like, well, I mean, the reality is their mind is there all day, every day, and that's all they're doing. Because that person may never join you. Like you, to have different opportunities, you have to find different people. This business is a people business. The more people you talk to, the more your odds go up that you're going to find the right people, right? And the right people bring you more opportunity. Okay. When you finally bring the right people into your business, opportunity explodes because they bring in their network of people and their network of people. But you have to talk to different people. So we can't get fixated on talking to the same 10 follow-ups every single week or every day or however we're doing it, right? We have to find new people, new people. And the other thing that I wanted to encourage you in that regard is this. Also, don't give up on people though. There was a girl that reached out to Joe and I the first week that we joined LifeWave. Haven't thought about her since, right? Because we've been finding new people ever since. But she reached out today and said, I know I told you 2 years ago I want these patches. Well, now I really do. Please send me a link so I can order the patches. Remember, guys, people are watching. They want to see your story unfold. And it's kind of human nature that it takes sometimes 5 to 7 to 12 times of hearing something, seeing something before it finally sinks into where we go, bye. It just does. That's where your consistency every day, picking up the paintbrush, dipping it in the paint, and painting comes into play, right? New people, new people. Lastly, you will rarely outperform your self image. Rarely outperform your self image. Guys, you want to kill your business in like overnight? Start having a negative self image. Start viewing yourself as less than the creator that created you views you, and you will explode your business. It will come out of every pore subconsciously, and people will feel it, see it, smell it, and not want anything to do with it. This has nothing to do with arrogance. This is humble confidence, right? This is having a self image that you too are worthy of the goals and dreams that God put inside of your heart, right? That's why they're there. He gave them to you. That's what I believe. And so you are worthy of working towards it and getting it. Now, his timing is perfect. As Carrie said, it's not always our timing in 6 months. Might take 5 years. I don't know. Might take 10, might take two. But you have to have a view of yourself that you are capable, that you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to stay the course, and that you're actually worthy of when it starts to come so you don't self-sabotage. So build your self-image, build your business. Talk to more people, open new opportunities, right? Get in the thick of things, have a chance to win. I love it. James Clear, always with the good content. That's all I had. So we got about 7 minutes left. If anybody wants to open up and share anything else, I'd love to hear from you. Go
I would,
Navy
if you
here.
don't mind.
Yes, please.
I had a gentleman that I had been just lightly talking to, and he kept seeing that I was on the patch. So I got him on it, and he got it 1 week ago. He came in and he says, well, I got three things I need to tell you. And I started laughing. I'm like, what's that? And he goes, the first thing is I wanted more energy. And the first day he said, I had the energy. Then I didn't. And he goes, then second thing was my sleep was better. I was sleeping in 1.5 hours of increments. And then he said, now I'm up to 4 to 5 hour increments.
Hmm.
So he was excited about that. And then he goes, and then the worst thing happened to me. And I'm like, oh no, what happened? He goes, my hair started growing and now I have to shave every single day. I was shaving once a week and I started laughing. And so that helped me get motivated. And I haven't been on a call for a while. So that motivated me to get on the calls. So yep, that's what I'm doing.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You need those wins, right, of encouragement to get you
Yes.
back in the groove. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, Kyle, just real quick, I just wanted to commend Carrie for going a whole 4 days and not giving up on painting. I went a whole 4 minutes and gave up on painting. So, but I love the analogy. You have the paint, you have the brush, you got to get up and do what you're supposed to do. You have all the tools. So I love that. And then second, in our book club, we always I mean, I feel like God's leading the way in the books that He always chooses us for us to read. And you get on here and talk about influence. And we're reading a book right now called How to Influence Your Mind. So it's a really good book. If you guys want to, pick it up or read it, it's a very, very good book on what Kyle's talking about. And not only how you influence your mind, how other people, like you're talking about writer, are able to influence your mind, negative mostly, and how Google and social media and news and all these things that we don't really pay attention to, that what we're bringing in our mind, how it influences our mind, influences our decisions, and so even to the young lady that just spoke, like a lot of times, we kind of give up or walk away from this because it's not going the way that we want it to go. And then all of a sudden, someone gives us a testimonial and we're like, damn, I am on the right path. And we waste all that time in between, when if we just would have had that mentality and that influence every single day, where would your business be? And that's why, living in regret or having the discipline, even though you might not be feeling it, or, you've had a couple tough weeks, that's why it's just really, really key to use the resources, be consistent, and work on your business every single day. Because if you do, then you're going to see the results of that. Like Carrie is seeing the results coming too with her cabinets and the paint and, all that. I mean, it's just a great analogy. I mean, if she would have given up, then, it's not going to be where it's at. And then she's going to regret it. She's going to be like, damn, if I would just gave it one more day, I'd have been through this. So great example, Carrie. And that book is a very, very good book. You guys can check out the books we're reading on the Next Level Book Club. You guys can join the book club. We've got several of you guys on here. But God is leading this book club, and He picks the books that we need in our business every single week that we read. So, great call
Love
today,
that.
Kyle.
Hey, I love that. Thank you, Jake. That's a great, great word. Everyone needs to be in the book club. And by the way, the fact that you even picked up the brush and tried for 4 minutes, I'm actually impressed. I'm actually impressed. Oh, it's so good.
Good morning,
Rick?
Kyle.
It
Yes,
was like
sir.
25 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, sir, Mr. Earl. Go ahead.
Yes. I just wanted to thank you so much for the encouragement. I had a Monday and Tuesday and nothing was happening, and you talk about having a breakthrough. But today at 12:30, I'm gonna patch up my chiropractor. They gave me a treatment this week, and at 2 o'clock, I'm going to enroll a new brand partner. So pushing through, man. Thank you so
Go.
much for the encouragement.
I love it. That's so awesome. You know what's crazy is, like, in baseball, you can hit 3 out of 10 times at the plate. Like,
Mhm.
literally, you can strike out 7 times and you can get a hit 3 times, and you can make millions of dollars your entire life and play baseball, right? In this business, you can strike out 95% of the time and get a single 1 or 5% of the time. And guys, you can ride off into the sunset a very, very, very satisfied entrepreneur in this business. That's all it takes. But you have to be comfortable with failure, and you have to know it's not failure, right? It's stepping blocks to get you to the next level of success that you want to be at. Lucy, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Go right ahead. You raised your hand.
No, I was clapping for Raoul, but
Oh, yes. Okay.
but
Awesome.
actually,
Yeah.
no. I just want to say, I don't know, like, for example, yesterday I was on the webinar with David, and I just realized how blessed we all are. He's such a dad to all of us, and somebody called him Iron Man Schmidt, and and he had so many exciting things to share. And I just realized that, honestly, like, we have the best thing ever. We have such a gem. So it would be so selfish not to share it. And I admit there are many days that I just absolutely don't feel like it. I feel lethargic, and everything tells me don't speak to people when you are in bad mood. And but I still do it. I still do those connections, and then it really pays off. It's so beautiful. So thank you for sharing your views.
Sorry, my Zoom just cut me out. I missed everything you said, but I'm sure it was great, Lucy. Thank you. I was like, oh no, it's gone. Awesome, guys. Hey, listen, y'all go out and have a great rest of your Wednesday. One last thing. We just randomly ran into a friend of ours, and he got engaged, and he was just saying how they're having some hard conversations. They're newly engaged. They're talking about some real things, and they went to their second premarital counseling session, and their counselor said, "Hey, can we reframe this? Because you're walking into these conversations going, man, these are hard. These are hard conversations. He's like, this isn't a hard conversation. This is marriage. Right. And so if you could just go into your next conversation that you think is hard, just be like, we just need to talk. Like, let's just have a real conversation. That's married life. And that will immediately, listen, change the filter which you see what you're walking into through. And when your filters change, you see things different, conversations go different. So, little encouragement as we leave. Hey, I love you guys. Thanks for hopping on here on a Wednesday. Y'all go out and have a great day and crush it. Bye, guys.